So if you're thinking about moving to Florida and you've heard about these things they call HOAs or homeowners associations, and you're wondering what they're about, should I go for one? Is it good? Is it bad? What are the pros? What are the cons? If that's the case, this video is for you. My name is Ray Fernandez. I'm with Living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by eXp Realty. Welcome. If this is your first time to our channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button there over in the corner. While you're at it, ring that bell. What that'll do is that'll notify you each time we put out a new video. We put out new videos every single week. We talk about all things Florida, so if you're wondering what it's like to eat, sleep, and drink here in Florida, this is a channel for you. 16 years ago, my family and I relocated here to Florida, and we haven't looked back. Today, we truly find an honor. In fact, our team truly finds an honor to help people, perhaps like you, do exactly the same thing. So if you're considering making that move here to Florida, you have questions, and you want to find out things from people who have actually done it, well, there's a couple ways to get a hold of us. Down below is our email address. That's one great way. Also on the screen, you see our phone number. You can either call or text that number. Two of the best ways is in the description and in the comments section, there's a link. Click on that link. What that'll do is that'll set up some time for us to speak, either through a phone call or through a Zoom, whatever way you feel most comfortable. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating to here to Florida. We've helped so many people relocate to here in Florida, and we absolutely love it. So if you're moving here to Florida from other places, from other states around the country, you likely don't have HOAs, at least they're not as prevalent as what they are here in Florida. In fact, if you Google how many HOAs are in Florida, it will tell you about 25% of the communities are HOAs. I sort of don't believe that. I don't believe everything Google says. Sometimes I look at these, when I Google statistics on Florida real estate, and I take it with a grain of salt. I truly believe that in Florida, it's a lot higher. In fact, if I were to estimate, is about 3/4 of the communities here in Florida are in fact governed by some type of COA, that's a condo association, or an HOA, which is a homeowners association. So if you live in a place that they don't have these things, it's one of those things that's sort of hard to get used to. We moved here from New York, and we didn't have anything up where we lived up in New York in that regard. But we've gotten used to it. There are some pros, there are some cons when it comes to living in an HOA community. One of the biggest cons when it comes to living in an HOA community is, well, lots of people say this, I don't want people telling me what to do. Well, that's sort of true. HOAs are basically a set of rules. They have a set of bylaws, covenants that govern the way the community is to be run. And some people have a problem. Like I said, they don't want to be told what to do. But these rules are meant to protect you. And some HOAs are different than others. Some have a lot of rules, some have not so many, and we're going to go into some of the differences with those HOAs. One of the pros when it comes to living in an HOA community is, well, it keeps you away from some of those insane people. And what do I mean by that? Insane people, I don't really mean insane people, but you know those people who might not want to take care of their home. There's a neighbor across the street who's not mowing his lawn for 2 months. It protects you from that. The rules and regulations help protect you from people who want to do somewhat crazy things. You might not like that. In fact, we find that there are basically two types of people. There are an HOA people and there are non-HOA people, and they are very different people. So on this point, if a neighbor wants to paint his house purple polka dots with pink stripes and all that kind of stuff, they need to get approval from the HOA. So this will prevent them from just doing it on their own. For all I know, the HOA will allow that, but in general, they have what they call ARCs, architectural review committees, that they'll make sure that the community is sort of uniform and in line, and make sure that things just don't get out of hand within the community. Some people do, I must say, take it to the extreme. They will complain about everything and every little thing. Well, this person has this wrong with their banister and all that. So one of the things is it's very important to have a good board, have a sensible board. So if you're looking into a community here in Florida, you really want to investigate what the board is about. One thing that's very important is you need to be concerned about the rules and regulations of each community. Email us or reach out to us at you see on below to find out what's more about that. But when we have clients coming in, we always encourage them before buying into an HOA or a COA community to get a copy of the rules and regulations. So one of the cons when it comes to living in an HOA community is it costs money. So every HOA or COA has a fee. There are some people who love HOAs, but like lean HOAs, which I think is also okay. At least it keeps the neighbors in line, but they don't apply. They don't have a lot of amenities. They have a lean amenities structure, and this doesn't cost you so much. There are some HOAs that are literally less than $100, and people just like that because it helps keep structure. HOAs also can go way up, like $800 or whatever, or in the case of condos, more on that later. It can go up above $1,000 because it includes an insurance component. But in general, every HOA is different. And if you're looking at it, just don't look at the number. I get a lot of people that will say, listen, I want an HOA less than this amount, which is fine. But I recommend not ruling out the prices of HOAs until you see exactly what the Homeowners Association fee includes. As an example, some of the HOA communities, the fee includes things such as cable, such as lawn maintenance, such as your alarm system. Some of these things are things that you would probably buy on your own, maybe not, but they do include stuff. So if you're going to spend, let's say a gym, like a lot of communities have these elaborate gyms. So if you're going to spend $80 on a gym and $100 on cable and $80 on your alarm system, and you're paying a fee for it, then that's something to consider. One of the benefits, one of the pros when it comes to HOAs is they have an economies of scale. So as an example, if you are looking at an alarm system and you have, let's say, 500 homes in your community, the alarm company is likely to give you a better price because they are pricing it for 500 homes, and they're going to probably price it per unit, per home, a lot lower. So you have economies of scale, and that is one of the pros when it comes to living in an HOA community. One of the other factors that you have to be really cognizant of is it's the size of the community. I'll give you a great example. One of the communities nearby that we show a lot, and it's a community I think that offers a lot of value, is the community of Arden. Arden's located in Loxahatchee. It's about 3 or 4 years old now. When all is said and done, it will be 2,500 homes. The amenities at that community are incredible. The resort-style pool is absolutely beautiful. They're actually building a second one. They have a working farm where your HOA actually includes a farm share. You go and pick up your vegetables and your spices and all that good stuff that they grow there each month. So it provides a lot of value. And the HOA currently is less than $300 a month. The way that they're able to do it at Arden is because there are 2,500 homes, they are able to spread the cost of all the amenities out to a larger base, making the cost per home a lot less. If you live in a smaller HOA community, let's say less than 100 or less than 200 homes, you will get amenities most likely, but the cost will be higher because they don't have that basis and that base to charge the residents over the course of the entire community. The other thing I have to say when it comes to homeowners associations is if you are considering a 55 and older community, you can expect the HOA fee to be a lot higher there. These 55 and older communities here in Florida, they offer a lot of stuff. One of which most of them have is what they have is a lifestyle director. So when you're buying into a 55 and older community, you're basically buying a lifestyle. This is a community built for people who are retired, have a lot of time. So because of that, the amenities are quite elaborate. They have a director who is organizing all these events and so forth. They keep you quite busy. Like I like to say, they keep it like as if you are living 7 Saturdays a week. So if you live in a 55, if you're looking at a 55 and older community, in general, you can expect to pay a little bit more money. So one of the things we do at Living in Palm Beach, Florida, is we work with clients based upon what makes sense for them. I'll give you another example, another community, Westlake. We do a lot of business in Westlake. They have a very lean HOA. You can get in there with an HOA for about $100 to $150, unless you're in the 55 and older community of Crestwind. You're going to pay more there. That's in the 300s. But what we do is we help work with people that if they say that HOA, they want to keep it lean, we will guide them in that direction. As an example, the people who live in Westlake, which is in the Loxahatchee area, in general, want a lower HOA, want a more lean HOA. They've got an elaborate adventure park, which they're able to afford because there's a lot of homes in there. Again, economies of scale, 4,500 homes. But anyways, work with your realtor and have them guide you, him or her, guide you as to what makes sense for this lifestyle that you wish to have here in Florida. So your HOA fee, as I said, it can be as low as less than 100 or about 100. It can go up to roughly 1,000. I've seen some of the areas we have here in Palm Beach, Florida, in the Boca area, like we have Lotus Grand and some of the Valencias down there. They're quite high. They can be like around I think Lotus Grand is $800, in the $800 range. So they can be a bit high. Question: how often does the HOA fee go up? The answer: pretty much every year. So I think you can appreciate this. You have a budget. If you're on the board of directors on the HOA, because each HOA, each homeowners association has a board, and I highly recommend if you live in a community and you want to have a say as to how it's run, become part of the board. I'm president of my HOA, and I love it. You don't get paid anything. In many cases, it is a thankless job, but at least you can help the direction of the community as you like to see. So the board of directors, what they do is they have a budget and they look at things that there's certain things they can control and certain things they can't. As an example, the cost of utilities that they have to manage each year, that goes up. If you include landscaping in your HOA, you have to pay the landscapers. In general, the cost of labor goes up. So there are certain things you can control. So when you are looking at the price of an HOA, in general, they will go up. And hopefully, if it's managed well, it will only go up at least as much as the rate of inflation. I have to say this. One of the types of HOAs, there's actually, let me say this. There's an HOA and there's a membership community. We have but we have some membership communities here. These are communities that are made for people who want to have a golf lifestyle or a social lifestyle. Lots of times we'll have clients who will look at some of these communities. I can name a couple off the top of my head that come to mind. Wycliffe in Wellington and Aberdeen and Boynton, Lake Worth. They'll look at these houses in there and say, wow, I can get all that house for just that little amount of money. Well, the reason is because there's a hefty initiation fee to get in there. Sometimes that helps suppress the market value of these homes. More on that if you want to call the office if you want to learn more about that. But a lot of these membership communities have high initiation fees and social fees each year, some of which can go up to about $15,000 in addition to the HOA fee. But my important point here is do not confuse a membership fee with an HOA fee. The other fee that you have to be cognizant of, and don't confuse with HOA fees, are CDDs. These are fees that you, when you move into a new construction communities, you have to ask one of the tricks when it comes to buying new construction is you have to ask that question. We are a new home co-broker, and we do a lot of new construction. We can guide you in that regards. Again, reach out to us, but the CDD is a fee that they'll charge not directly to you, but they'll charge you through your taxes. And what it's meant to do is when a development is like building out, they basically spend a lot of money, the builder does, and they will spend all this money and take a bond out, and you are essentially paying down the bond in your taxes every year with this CDD. So if you're looking at new construction, you need to know whether it is a CDD community or not. Let's go over some of the rules of some of the HOAs, what some of the ones that I think are most challenged, starting with the 55 and older communities. If you're in a 55 and older communities, one of the rules and regulations is that you're 55 and older, that the person who buys the house, it's deeded to the house, one person is at least 55 years old. That goes without saying, it's a 55 and older community. But that's one of the rules and regulations. One of the big issues we find that people sometimes have when it comes to living and the HOA regulations when it comes to living in a 55 and older community is with the younger kids. So you are not, in most communities, I think the age is 18, some of them it's 21. Let's say it's 21. They do not want someone 21 years, younger than 21 years of age, living in that home full time. And trust me when I say this, the neighbors, if you live in a 55 and older community and you have someone that's less than 21 that's living there for an extended period of time, when I say extended, I don't mean a week, you're allowed to have visitors and stuff, but I mean like living there. I forget the exact, each community has a different number, but let's say it's more than a month or so, they will tell on you. So you have to be careful if you're living in a 55 and older communities. Don't think you just break the rules and get away with it. Another rule that people sometimes have a problem with is when it comes to pets. There is normally some kind of regulation when it comes to pets. Sometimes it's 2 pets. Sometimes it's pets no more than a certain amount of pounds. 50 pounds is a number I see quite frequently. They also have this thing, and it's for insurance reasons, no aggressive breeds. So I know a lot of dog lovers who hate this rule. It's basically if you have a registered pit bull, that's what it comes down to. Pit bulls and a couple of other breeds, and they're registered as a pit bull. They will not allow you to live in that community. Right or wrong, that's the way it is. There are some ways around it. I forget. It's sort of one of those things you need to hire an attorney if you really are adamant about it, but there are ways around it. I know people in the community that do have pit bulls, and as long as they're, kept on a leash, that's one of the other rules, is they need to be on leashes. As long as they follow the rules in general, and there are ways that you can navigate this rule when it comes to pets. The other big rule, and this is very important for investors, when it comes to HOAs, is renting. Many HOAs have rules and regulations when it comes to renting. As an example, a lot of HOA communities they want to discourage investors to come in. They feel that renters don't take as good a care of the property as an owner would. Right or wrong, that's what they feel. So what they do is they will put rules in there such as you are not allowed to offer the home for rent until you are in the home if you've bought the home and you lived in it on your own for 1 year, 2 years. My community, as an example, it's 2 years, and it's one of the ways that the communities sometimes discourage investment in their community. A lot of HOAs have rules against Airbnbs or short-term rentals. Airbnbs are big down here in recent years. Here we are we're in 2023 basically, and we are there in the past few years. Airbnbs are very popular. Some HOAs don't like it. They don't want people coming in short term and thinking that they're going to destroy the community, right or wrong. So there are lots of regulations when it comes to short term rentals. If you are looking to buy a home that you want to use for a short term rental or rental for that matter, you need to work with your realtor to make sure the communities allow these type of things. One of the things that people sometimes say is to me when they call in or to my team, I want a gated community. Thinking that means that it's an HOA. Well, you need to in order to be a gated community, you need an HOA, of course. But just because it's a gated community, it helps in terms of security. But don't think it's like a Fort Knox. There are lots of gated communities where there's a gate, but it might be easier. It's very easy, not easy, but it's possible to hop the gate. So don't let the fact that it's a gated community give you a false sense of security. It does help, don't get me wrong, but it is not going to keep the criminal element out 100%. All right, condos. I got to mention this because this is really, really important. If you're buying a condominium, there are, instead of HOAs, it's called a COA, condo association fees and whatnot. There is a difference. They lots of times on a condo, they will include, the fees will be higher. The COA fee will be higher because in many cases, it includes the price of homeowners insurance. Homeowners insurance is a problem in Florida right now. It is more than any other state, most likely in the country, and certainly compared to the states I know, and definitely compared to what you find in the Northeast of the United States. They are a lot higher, the cost of insurance here. Over the course of the last several years, there's been what they call some fraud here when it comes to putting in claims. Insurance carriers have left the area. Some of them have. And it is made it so that there's less to choose from. So like anything else, it's supply and demand. And if there's less a supply of insurance carriers, in general, the price of insurance has been going up in recent years. So if you are buying a condo, lots of times that fee will include the homeowners association. So will include the insurance. So if you're buying a home, like a single family home, you are responsible for your own insurance. But when you buy a condo, many cases it is that fee includes the insurance, which is a cost that is going up in recent years. Reach out to our team if you want to know more about condos. It is an important point. If you are thinking about buying a condo, you need to speak to someone who understands the current landscape when it comes to what condos are experiencing here in Florida. Like I said in the beginning, there are HOA people and there are non-HOA people. It's okay to be either. Here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida, we help you navigate what makes the most sense for you. There's also the alternative of having an HOA, but a lien HOA. So if you're thinking about moving to Florida, these are some of the things you want to consider. So the question is, to HOA or not to HOA? As I mentioned in many of my videos, Florida is not for everybody. It is in a unique environment. Some people have a hard time getting used to the HOAs. It's just a fact of life that we do have a lot of them. You don't need to be in one here, but in any case, at least you know. At least this video gives you the map of what you can expect when it comes to living in an HOA community. HOAs, non-HOAs, paradise here in Florida.